Hi, so I've been looking at my reading list for last few days now and I realized that I needed to have an honest conversation with you and with myself. Hi, this is Mihika and thank you for clicking on this video. If you are new here, I am in the middle of a big shift. I am manifesting and working on a 2026 full of travel, fitness and building this channel. But to actually get there, I have to fix my mental habits. And honestly, my reading life in 2025 was a bit of a mess. I would say a big mess. I'd read 3 books in a week, feeling like an absolute genius, and would not touch a book for a month. I was inconsistent and had reading slumps that lasted forever. And I was jumping between types of books so fast that my brain just could not keep up. Today, I want to look back at those books that actually moved me, why I struggled, and how I'm using my new tracker diary to completely reset for 2026. So let's see. When I look at what I actually finished in 2025, it falls into two categories that I could figure out: the soul and the escape. First, let's talk about the soul books because they are really close to my heart. I would want to talk about Chitra Banerjee. I read The Palace of Illusions, The Last Queen, and The Forest of Enchantments, all these 3 beautiful books by her. And guys, these books did something to me. For the longest time, we've been hearing about stories or these epic tales from a perspective of a male. I'm talking about stories like Ramayana and the Mahabharata. So we've been hearing about the kings, the wars, but Chitra gave a voice to the women of that history. And honestly, society ignored it for a really long time. She showed me that the perspective of Draupadi, the perspective of Sita in a way that felt so human and modern that I absolutely love it. I love them because they made me feel like my side of the story matters too. Then there was an absolute different shift, as what I quoted it as escape. When the reading lifestyle got heavy, I switched to Freida Mcfadden and I flew through those books. The Housemaid, Never Lie, Teacher, The Boyfriend, The Inmate. They were fun, they were fast, and they kept me awake at night. I mean, I could not keep the book because I really wanted to know what happened at the end. And then finally, I dove into the Japanese literature with Butter, which was so strange. Being a journalist, I got to know about this book, so I had to read it. But if I read so much, what was really the problem? The problem was the gap. I'd go from books like A Little Life or the heavy classics like The Kite Runner, The White Knights, and then just stop reading. I didn't know how to balance the heavy stuff with the fun stuff. So I ended up scrolling on my phone instead, and I would actually go on my phone and look for books that I can read after reading such heavy books. I also tried to force myself to read productive books like The 5 a.m. Club, Think Rich, all those books that people start with. But I wasn't consistent with my own routine, so those books kind of made me feel like they're giving me a lecture, and they also started to make me feel guilty because I was not doing enough. But then I'd also look at the books like The Bell Jar and The Silent Patient sitting on my nightstand, felt like I was failing a test. The truth is, I wasn't making reading a part of my lifestyle. I was fitting it into the gaps. And in 2025, those gaps got filled with stress and distractions. I wasn't being mentally fit. So here's the 2026 reset. I am moving away from random reading to an intentional reading. In my new tracker diary, I have mapped out my 2026 reading spree. I've picked 10 books that I would want to read and bridge the gap. And I am looking for more of that female perspectives like Sisters in Yellow and Confessions. But at the same time, I'm also looking for books that have kept me awake the whole night. If in the morning I have to go for work, but I really need to finish this book because I cannot keep it down kind of books. So I am tracking it all. I'm not tracking just titles here, but I'm tracking my energy this time. I want to read something that actually fuels my mind. When I'm traveling, which is a huge goal for my 2026, I would want to read books that set in the places where I'm actually visiting, where I would want to read more about the history before reaching that place. And I'm also committing to mental fitness slots. I want to be the version of me that has 20,000 subscribers and always has a book in the back. I'm sharing this because I know I'm not the only one who's actually struggling with this, to be consistent, to read, not to just read or complete the books. So we all want to be that aesthetic reader we see on Pinterest, we see on Instagram, but life is not that easy. It is messy. And I want to know, what was that one book in 2025 that actually changed how you think? And that one habit that you would actually want to make and make conscious effort and change it in 2026. Let's make 2026 the year we actually show up and make conscious efforts to show up and to build the life that we always wanted. Right now we're at just 30 subscribers. I know it's not a big of a number, but I am so grateful for each and every one of you who's here with the very beginning of this journey. So if you want to see how this diary fills up, and if I actually hit the target subscriber goal that I'm planning, please do follow. Let's make 2026 the year we actually show up for ourselves. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.